at the very beginning of religion. And of course, religion began with Ibrahim alayhi salam, Millatu Ibrahim, the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to him a vision. And then he came to his son, Ismail alayhi salam. There's no doubt about that it was Ismail alayhi salam. Ya bunayya, O my son, inni ara fil manami anni azbahuk. I have surely seen in my sleep, in a vision, ru'ya, that I must sacrifice you. Fanzur madha tara. Son, how do you respond? Do you agree to this sacrifice? Ya abati fa'al ma tu'mar. O my father, go ahead, do as you have been ordered. Meaning, we both recognize that this is from Allah. I agree to the sacrifice. I hope Egypt is listening today. I hope the Arabs are listening today. I hope those who have come from Ismail alayhi salam are listening today. And so he said, Ya abati fa'al ma tu'mar. O my father, go ahead, I accept the sacrifice. But when Ibrahim alayhi salam, and I don't know what is in his heart, if we meet him one day, inshallah, we can ask him. There could be far more to what he did than what we understand. When he put his son's head on the block to sacrifice it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called out to him, Ya Ibrahim, by name, Ya Ibrahim, qad saddaqta ru'ya. You have already accepted, submitted, fulfilled the vision. What I've asked of you. What I've asked of you did not require that you take a knife and cut the throat of your son. No, that was not what I asked of you. What I've asked of you has already been accepted and has already been fulfilled. What could it be? If al-awwal is linked with al-akhir, then this sacrifice, this vision of sacrifice of Ibrahim, the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam, Ismail alayhi salam, from whom the Arabs have come, it could mean, and Allah knows best, that this is a communication at the very beginning of an event that is to take place at the end. The sacrifice of the Arabs. And the Arabs today are being prepared for that moment of sacrifice which is coming. How can we stand up here and say that the Arabs are going to be sacrificed, in a momentous sacrifice, when all the indicators are to the opposite? That this is the Arab Spring. The winter is gone. Dictatorship is gone. Persecution and oppression is gone. And we are now free once again. And Islam, the religion, is rising once again. And we will triumph over those who have been oppressing us and waging war on Islam. That is the external. And we are saying that the internal is different. Time will tell. And we don't have long to it to know whether or not this is a valid thesis or hypothesis. We don't have long again to it. That there is a momentous sacrifice of the Arabs which is coming. And Ibrahim alayhi salam saw it, knew it was going to come. His seed, his progeny, from this son, and he accepted it. And Ismail alayhi salam knew also that this is what's going to come, and he also accepted it. Is there a great sacrifice of the Arabs that is coming? 7 months ago, 6 months ago, when I gave my lecture at the University of Malaya, an Islamic view of the current Arab uprisings, I laid down the hypothesis there that this is the preparation for the great slaughter. That what the enemy is planning is to be able to say to the world that Islam is rising again. And when the domino effect takes place around the Arab world, and when the call for the enforcement of Sharia finds roots, then Israel will be able to say, and all the media that supports Israel will be able to say, Islam is now rising again, posing a threat not only to Israel, but posing a threat to the world, posing a threat to mankind, demonizing Islam, painting Islam as a menace, and hence establishing justification for the great wars which have already been planned, with which Israel will be able to expand her territorial frontiers. But we know that subject already from my book, Jerusalem and the Quran, and set a trap for the United States. So that the United States will be facing military defeat. It's not just the collapse of the US dollar and collapse of the US economy, but more than that, for Israel to replace the United States. But from the time we ask the question, why would Israel want to do these things? And we get the answer that Israel wants to rule the world. But when they said in Europe that all that we want to do is to provide a home for the Jewish people, and they issued the Balfour Declaration in 1917, we say that was a lie. We are now accustomed to your lies. You are a people who tell monstrous lies, and truth does not reside in the heart of those from whose lips lies constantly emerge. Even a schoolboy would understand that. What you wanted to do was to create a state that would rule the world. And Israel is just a few steps away from that. Israel cannot rule the world, however, unless it first establishes its political and economic dominion over the Arab world. How can we explain this without reference to Dajjal? How can we explain this without reference to Gog and Magog, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, which are major signs of Akhir Zaman? And yet, our critics are emphatic that no, Dajjal has not been released. Gog and Magog have not been released. If we can't find the barrier built by Zulkarnain, which is made of iron and steel, it's probably somewhere down a few miles underneath the earth. Is that scholarship? We do not want to disrespect our critics. But we say, if you are not prepared to accept that Dajjal is the mastermind of the modern age, and that Gog and Magog are the means through which Dajjal pursues his mission on the earth, then we're very sorry, we're moving on. We can't wait on you. We say that the Arabs are being prepared for a great slaughter. Is there anything else beside that vision of Ibrahim alayhi salam to support this thesis? Yes, there is. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam was asleep at the home of his wife Zainab radiallahu ta'ala anha. And he woke up from his sleep, and the hadith is located in Sahih Bukhari in several different versions from several different sources, companions. So we say it is mutawatir. He woke up from his sleep. What he had seen in his sleep, also a vision like Ibrahim alayhi salam, was so terrible, that his face was red, flushed red. It has to be something terrible for the Prophet of Allah to wake up with his face all red, flushed red. What did he see? He woke up and he spoke these memorable lines. He said, وَيْلٌ لِلْعَرَبِ مِنْ شَرٍّ قَدْ اقْتَرَبَ. Woe unto the Arabs because of an evil, shar, an evil. It can't be an ordinary evil for his face to be so flushed red. It has to be a very great evil, which is now close. And then he raised his hands like this and he said, today. Today means this day or 1,000 years from now. Where has reason fled? He said, today. A hole has been made in the radam. He didn't use the word sad, he used the word radam. Surah Al-Kahf has both the words. When they asked Zulkarnain to build it, they used the word sad. When he built it, he used the word radam. And the hadith says the radam of Zulkarnain, of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Today a hole has been made, indicating that the great evil which is going to devastate the Arabs has not as yet occurred. It is an end time event because the words Gog and Magog are there. What is this great catastrophe that is coming on the Arabs? What is this great destruction that is coming on the Arabs, which has not as yet come? Where is Islamic scholarship today? Why are you not asking these questions? And I'm not asking the Malay ulama. I'm not asking the Indonesian ulama. I'm asking the Arab ulama. She asked, who? Zainab radiallahu ta'ala anha. Anuhlika, will we be destroyed? Anuhlika, halaka, to destroy. Will we be destroyed? This is the word she asked. Will we, the Arabs, be destroyed when there are righteous people amongst us? The hadith is in Sahih Bukhari. He said, Na'am, yes. And then he went on to use words I never understood until recently, until I saw the pathetic state of Islamic scholarship today, and the even pathetic state of those who lead Muslims today. He said, إِذَا كَثُرَ الْخَبَثِ, when the scum prevails, then it will come. And today, the scum prevails. They have eyes and yet they cannot see. They have ears and yet they cannot hear. They have hearts and yet they do not understand. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. They're worse than cattle. They're the scum. And when the scum prevails, then the destruction of the Arabs, not the Malay, not the Turks, the Arabs will take place.